Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt
And
Roast.
I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 27 live feed spoilers. We are here coming right off the latest eviction episode, and we've got a lot to talk about, and we've also got a little bit to celebrate, if I'm being honest here.
Absolutely. Ashley is still in the game.
Yes.
Keanu's still in the game.
Okay, listen, guys, I'm always going to keep it a buck with you. And it's just the moment that they said that this was going to be like the navigating through the rope blockbuster competition, I was looking at Will, who was just hurt in the BB comics, and I was like, remember when you guys talked about equitable comps here? It felt like it was 95% Keanu was winning this.
Yeah, it felt like he was going to win this, but I mean, it's sad to see Will go, Team 50.
Yeah.
I really liked him as a person, but I just didn't feel like he was bringing enough to the game for me. It was unfortunately time for Team 50 to go.
Yeah, it was. And I think you'll have a good time with Rachel in the jury house. They really
Yeah,
like each other. I think that will be good for him. Like, yeah, I like seeing him. I have a lot of admiration
yeah.
for him as a person, for his service, like all of those things. But yeah, it's just Big Brother at this point. It is a game for the aggressive and for the people who really try the hardest and really wheel
Yep.
and deal their way to the top.
And that's why we have to give a huge round of applause to Ashley. Oh my goodness. Did you ever earn to be staying here tonight? Like,
Yeah,
incredible.
this was probably one of the best efforts we've seen all season by someone just to figure out a way to stay, to make good
Yep.
arguments without like completely badgering someone nonstop. She
Mm-hmm.
made herself very, very clear.
Yeah.
And while, we talked not that long ago about Will not campaigning that much, like he did come around and campaign. It's just that Ashley did a better job.
Yeah. And I mean, he just came to the campaigning a little bit late.
Yeah, but okay, we have a lot to get into when it comes to this eviction.
Mm-hmm.
What is coming up? The
Yep.
return of Zingbot, a
Mm-hmm.
little bit from the live feeds, and a whole lot more. But before we dive into any of it here, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we are so close to 80,000 subscribers.
It's wild. Honestly, it's
Yes.
wild. Like, thank you so much to everyone this season that has been hitting that subscribe button. I can't believe the growth that we've had here at the channel because of you guys. And
Yeah.
yeah, we are really close to 80,000 now. It's wild. So yeah, if you want to help us reach that milestone, it'd be so nice. Thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, so you guys' support has just been so gratifying. It's been all you
It's
people who
amazing.
discovered us for Big Brother this year. I mean, we've been doing this for so long, and it's just been
Yeah.
very, very exciting to see a lot of people come on board. But okay, let's start by giving Ashley some more flowers
Oh
here because,
yes.
like, she really does deserve it. Because I think
Yes.
if we were all, let's just jump in a time machine real quick and go back to last
Oh,
week.
all right. Oh, beep, bop, 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 boop, 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 boop. Okay, we had a little extra because it's last week.
Okay, all right. We're last week here. Oh my gosh, Ashley and Keanu, they just had a shouting match. Like, BB Twitter is going crazy. There's no way these two are ever gonna work together in any form.
Yeah, and then we did see them having like a really long conversation and working through a lot of it. And
Yeah.
it felt like they were really hitting the curve and that they were coming around to working together. He was taking this really seriously. And,
Mhm.
we were talking a little bit about, is Ashley taking it that seriously? Or is it kind of like, we'll see how it goes. I'll take it seriously for now, but we'll see how it goes. He was taking it very seriously, and that showed in the votes tonight.
Yeah, it really, really did. Like the idea that Keanu was on Ashley's side in this vote
Yep.
when he didn't have to be, where last
No.
week he would have easily just come up with a personal reason to not want to work with her. But
Mhm.
good on him for being willing to put his differences aside, and good on her for being able to just have the wherewithal to recognize, okay, there's a good chance with the current configuration of the votes that Keanu is a challenge beast, that he's going to win the blockbuster. And,
Yeah.
unfortunately, this means I lose Will, someone I really, really care about. Yeah, I'm in the judges with Vince and Morgan, but am I ever going to trust the two of them to like be closer to me than to each other? Like, that's really doubtful.
Yeah, it's completely doubtful. Like, she would be at the bottom of that trio. There is no way. So she does have to make some other alliances elsewhere. And I mean, she's got a friend in him now.
She's got a friend in him, and she's got someone where I think she can sit back and recognize, especially after some of the live feed stuff we'll get into later,
Hmm.
he doesn't really have that many other options anymore. He's felt really burned or lied to or deceived. Like he was really upset with Lauren because he felt like he had Lauren's back and Lauren didn't reciprocate that
Right.
at all. Like, yeah, he and Ashley have not seen eye to eye on a lot of different things, but because she's been on the other side of the house, like he's known where she stands. And I think that's something that, like, blunt honesty, Keanu really, really values that because that's how he operates in the game as well.
That's how I operate in life. I really appreciate that as well. And you don't usually get that in the Big Brother house,
Yeah.
like maybe one or two people a season, but it's nice to have.
Yeah, and I think something else that Ashley, where she's a very improved player when it comes to her
Yes.
game awareness, her
Yep.
social awareness. Like we've known the whole season that she's really smart, but I
Mhm.
think she smartly has picked up on, okay, Ava, Kelly, Lauren, like they're spending a lot more time with each other. So,
Yes.
even though Ava and Will were really, really close, and I
Mhm.
might be able to work some with Ava, like I'm well aware of the fact that it's like I wouldn't be Ava's only ally here. So it's just like I need to continue to find other options.
Yeah, she would be on the bottom of that as well.
Yeah, and so this all represents Ashley doing something that's really, really good and really, really smart for her game. And then we get into the side of things here when it comes to Morgan and when it comes to Vince and why they decided to vote the way that they did.
Yes.
So, Morgan, it's been kind of clear for days that this is what she wanted. She wanted to keep Ashley in the game. And I think this comes down to, once again, another option here because we know from the past few days Morgan's had a little bit of a trust issue, to say the least, with Vince and the time that Vince has been spending with Lauren.
Yeah, I mean, she really has been pushing that Vince is going to be the person. It has to be him. He has to get Lauren out, basically to prove himself to her, is what it feels like to me.
Mhm.
But so we've got Morgan, then that's also like, okay, well, if let's say he doesn't come through, I do need to have other allies here. And
Yeah.
here is Ashley. So if I can get Vince on board so that we can keep Ashley, then I've got somebody who's going to be a closer ally to me than will be to Vince.
Yeah, I think there were a few different things that were going on here. Like, yeah, Will is a social threat. Like, that part of what he's saying is not false, but it's
Yeah.
also very true that, okay, Morgan feels closer on some level to Ashley than she does Will. I think
Mhm.
she knows that Will's got some other things going outside the judges, but
Right.
then beyond all that, there is this thing that Will's just so likable that if you're nominated against him, there is a really good chance that you end up being evicted. And it's just like, Ashley, who knows if that's going to be the case?
Okay, let's talk about that for a
Okay,
second.
all right.
So obviously people in the house are buttering him up and gassing him up to
Yep.
be like, listen, you are very likable.
Hmm.
Truth. If we sit next to you at the end, we lose. I don't think that that's actually true. I'm gonna put my hard hat
Okay,
on
all
for
right,
that.
let's do it. Let's
I
do it.
actually don't think that that's true. I don't think that he's done enough in the game. Like, unless he's sitting beside somebody that's like truly unlikable, like a Kelly or something like that, who just didn't do enough jury
Yeah.
management to be able to get anywhere. I don't think that if Vince is at the end sitting beside Will, that Vince loses. And it was interesting that they were able to convince him of this. And he even said this when Julie was like, "Oh, who do you think is going to win?" "Oh, it's going to be Vince. Vince is great at telling you what you want to hear and making you feel like you can believe it," sort of thing. And I'm just sitting there being like, and you just believed what he told you, which is that he thinks that if he sits beside you at the end, he loses. And I don't think that that's true. But you guys let me know in the comments. Do you think if Vince was sitting against Will at the end, that Will would win?
I think Vince would win. I'm with you on this.
I'm
Like,
not saying that Will wouldn't get any
yeah,
votes. I'm not saying it's a clean sweep or anything like that, but I
no,
just don't think that he would win.
no, I don't. I don't think he would win either. Yeah, I think he would get some votes, but I just
Mhm.
think at the end, people are going to be looking at it's not just comp wins, but it's also
No.
the amount of control that you had over the course of the game. And this is where you have your victory lap, because you've been saying from the jump here that Vince is one of the best players, if not the best player this season. And
He
I
is.
know that, people are frustrated about, the Morgan relationship and all this other stuff.
And
And
his relationship offline, which we are not talking about here because this is about the game.
yeah, it's about the game and the people a part of the game. But I understand all that, but just in terms of like strategic control, the way in which he's been able to balance so many different sides, the idea that, yeah, multiple times this season we have seen him being put up and
Yep.
targeted and all
Yep.
this other stuff, and yet he always finds a way to just slither out of it and end up being okay.
He had an HOH Keanu put him up and then actually advocate for him to stay afterwards.
Yes.
That is an incredible amount of
Yes.
power in this house that Vince has. If Vince is at the end, I don't know anybody who beats him, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and if he loses at that point, that is one of those instances where I kind of have to look a little bit sideways at the jury and just be like, okay, well, what are you guys thinking? I also just feel like Vince is a smart enough person that he's gonna go to the end and not be that wishy-washy, that I think he would
No.
explain himself fairly well. Unlike
Yeah.
Lauren, where if it was like Will and Lauren at the end of the season, like, yeah, well, like you said, Will's beating Kelly a million times. I
Right.
feel like Will would probably beat Lauren, just because Lauren, I have zero confidence that she's going to go up there and actually say anything with substance to it.
Yeah, I don't know. You never know, right? With
Yeah.
her, like sometimes she can be very direct depending on who she's talking to or what it's about.
Yeah.
At the end, for money, she might get it together. You never know. People surprise you.
Yeah, they can. Now, okay, let's just talk about this vote now, though, from the Vince point of view, because this is the one that, when we've been talking about the feeds this week, that was kind of the most unclear. And he has gone back and forth. He's talked about, oh, personally, I would rather have Will stay in the game, but strategically, maybe it's better to have Ashley. Like, he has really flip-flopped on this.
Yeah, I mean, strategically to keep Will in the game, like, yeah, he's beatable. And I think that that's one of the reasons why I think some people at this point were kind of like, we just need to get him out. Because if he's the person that's going to be brought to the end because he's beatable, then I'm not being brought to the end.
Okay, so tinfoil hat time here.
Okay.
I think the reason that Vince made this decision in the end, it's a couple of different things. We know from watching him all season that one of the things that he's best at is just
Yep.
finding ways to placate people. And he's
Right.
constantly in the middle of all these various tug of wars. And so one of the things he did over the past 24, 48 hours is he had some conversations with Lauren to basically set her up for the possibility that he might vote this way so that she's not blindsided, upset. And so it's like, okay, I'm not going to hurt my relationship with Lauren that much if I go ahead and make this move.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to hurt that relationship. He has said that she is basically the person that he would take to the end.
Yeah. But then at the same time, he's got everything with Morgan, and
Of
he's
course.
already ticked off Morgan this week. So it's like, I need to do something here to make sure Morgan feels like her voice is being heard.
Yep.
And so it's like, okay, siding with her on this vote. Like, yeah, is it possible that Ashley would rather go to the end with Morgan than me? Sure. But I think at the same time, Will probably doesn't want to go to the end with you either, Vince. So I think it's something he can afford to do. That's not like a huge net loss to his game, especially since, he's not really damaging any other relationship in the process.
Now, here's the thing about it. Is this really going to placate Morgan on what she really wants? No, she really wants Vince to be the person that is going to get rid of Lauren.
Yeah, and like, he has kind of sort of been like, yeah, in the midst of all these conversations, but it's just like, it's a totally different thing if he ends up in power. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if Vince, depending on how this HOH goes or who's kind of there at the end, I think Vince would probably be more than happy to throw this HOH coming up so he doesn't put himself in any tough position.
This is another HOH that he needs to throw. He does not need to be front and center for this HOH.
Yeah.
The next one, sure, but not this one.
Yeah, I think you want to be HOH for the double eviction. That was announced tonight because it's just like, at that point, and we don't know anything yet, but another tinfoil hat here.
Yeah.
I feel like the blockbuster is going to be over for the double eviction because then it's going to be like, okay, so you're going to have an HOH, a veto,
Yeah.
and a blockbuster all to a live show.
I just feel like the HOH in that double, when you are the second and you can just quick bam, 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 get somebody out, you can just be like, man, it all happened so fast. I
I
just,
know.
no blood on my hands. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any time to talk to anybody. And then it was just all so crazy. It's the best one to win.
It really, really is.
Besides the first one, I stand on that.
Yeah, and Vince is proving that you were correct in that. It's just that it's a really important HOH to win. You can make a really big move, and I think you can all sit back and be like, oh, we don't know that the next HOH is a double. That's true, but you can look around a house and be like, there's not that much time left this season. Like, how are there so many people still here? Like, you can gleam that there is a very good chance that a double is right around the corner. Okay, well, let's now transition over to our guy, Keanu here, who once again manages to find himself safe. And, at the very start of this season, we kind of thought a little bit about this, but I think now we really have to revisit, like, can Keanu actually win this game at this point?
Can he win his way to the end? And I think the answer is yes. I mean, there's not that much left of the game. He's won so much this season. And I know that the show in this game is not only about winning competitions, but I think he can win his way to the end. Can he win at the end? It's going to really depend on who he's sitting beside.
Yeah, it is.
But he can win.
Yeah, I think he has a legit chance. And I mean, competitions, they're not everything, but at the same time, he has at least tried really hard strategically.
Yes, he has.
Yes.
He's campaigned. He's tried to make moves. He has played this game very hard, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate it too. Like, he's delusional at times, and he trusts Vince too much. Like, he's a very flawed player, but I mean, are we all gonna really sit here and be like, oh, there's never been a flawed winner of Big Brother, when it's like there's been plenty of them? Like, I don't think he would be the worst winner ever if he ended up winning this season.
No, he has won a lot of competitions, like we said.
Yeah.
And he has fought really hard to be here.
Okay, well, here, you had your advice to Vince about this next HO. I'm going to pass this advice to Keanu as well. You really should not win this next head of household. And it's just because you've got the veto still.
Yep.
And there's not that many people left. So it's like you have a good chance of participating. You have the blockbuster, presumably. And you just don't want to be in a position where entering the double, at most, if the blockbuster is gone, you only have one chance to save yourself and everybody is going to want to get rid of you. Like, having those two chances during the double, like, that could be essential.
Absolutely.
Here's one of the two things I'm worried about with Keanu long term here.
Oh, only two things?
Yeah, okay, there's a lot of other things. But the two specific gameplay things here is that, one, he's going to really just glom onto this idea that it's like, oh, me and Ashley, we're the new frenemies here. We're going to ride this out to the end, which would be very entertaining. Like, I love both of them. I would love to see them work together.
Yes, and I think that they could.
They really could. But then I'm like sitting back and I'm thinking, oh, if it's Keanu and Ashley in the final two, like, if all of the judges all vote for Ashley to win, that's kind of a wrap for Keanu and he's not winning the game.
Well, here's the thing about the judges. I mean, this was just an alliance of convenience. It didn't really last that long. It's not like it's the brigade or something else where people were really loyal to each other. I don't know that the judges are all just going to be like, oh, there's a judge at the final. Sure, I'll vote for them just because. I mean, this alliance has been together a minute.
Okay, here's my other worry. This is a very legitimate one, that he is going to somehow convince himself that he needs to take Vince to the final two, that this is the right move for his game.
That is a worry.
That is a worry, and I'm like 85% sure it's going to happen because as much as I love Keanu is not to be trusted with himself.
Well, and he has said before that he, wanted to sit with Rachel. He wants to beat the best kind of thing. So I could see him doing that.
Okay, so here's a little bit of interesting insight from the live feeds about where Keanu sits in the game now, because for a good while, like, Kelly is one of the few remaining players that he was starting to count on a little bit here. The problem is, over the last couple of days, Kelly has done her Kelly thing, which is just complain a lot about people, try to instigate, go and tell Vince, like, some of the people Keanu said initially he wanted up on the block, which was Vince, Lauren, Morgan. And so Vince found out about some of this. Keanu ends up finding out about some of this information that Kelly is spreading around, and now he has no reason to ever trust Kelly again.
No, and she's acting like he yelled at her. That never happened. Like, this is not the Kelly hate channel, but she just needs
No,
to go.
it's just it's a very unentertaining cycle. The whole, instigate something, somebody gets mad at her, and then she acts like it's, how could somebody do this to me? It's just, it's not fun entertainment. Like earlier today, I had a vision that came to my head, and the vision was Keanu won the blockbuster, which I'm not really going to take that much credit for. He was very, very much fun. And then,
He's won lots.
yeah, and then Ashley ends up being the new HOH,
Mhm.
and then we come out of this week seeing Kelly be the next person to be evicted, which I kind of feel like it's a remote possibility just because even if the blockbuster does eventually go away, like nobody in the game's going to know when that happens. And it
Mhm.
just feels like Kelly is kind of like Keanu in the sense that she's won enough comps that if she's ever there just sitting on the block in the end, like even if she is a final two goat, she's still someone who could take a spot away from you.
Yeah, I think that she is someone that some people are looking to bring along to the end because I think everybody in the house beats her. But at this point, I mean, she is working kind of with Lauren, with Ava. I mean, she might be okay.
Yeah.
There's not that many people left.
No, there really isn't. And because of that, and because people are now actively thinking more and more about, okay, who can I possibly beat? Like, I think this is one of the reasons why Lauren has entertained this alliance that's outside of Vince for a moment. And I think it's one of the reasons why Lauren and Kelly had a conversation about, do we really want to bring Ava to Final Three? Because I think Lauren probably recognizes that Kelly is someone she would like to bring to Final Three for
Oh,
many
yes.
reasons. But, Ava, it's a little bit more dodgy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of people that would take Kelly to the end, and they should.
Okay, so before we wrap this video up, there's just a couple more things that are really worth noting here. No, number one, I'm having a really hard time watching Ava do anything anymore. And even just on the show, like her being so upset Will is gone. It just like now that we know that she was playing for AFP, it's just like, I don't really know what she's going to do in the game anymore. I don't even really know who she is other than just her bashing people in the house.
Yeah, man, what a turn on Ava, man. Wow. Like she was able to hold up this persona of who she is for quite a lot of the game, but man, it has really unraveled the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The mask has fallen and it is very different than what we all signed up for at the beginning of the season when we were all like, "Oh, Ava Pearl." Now we're all like, "Oh my god. Oh my god."
I am in a position here, okay, where I was Ava's biggest defender preseason, so I'm really in the clown car with this. But it's just like, as long as Ava and Kelly don't win this season, like I feel like I won't lose my mind. Like there's people I'm rooting for more than others, but it's like I will not lose my mind too much on that.
Yeah.
All right, finally. We have to all rejoice that Zingbot is finally coming onto the show this coming week.
Yep. Uh-oh, Vince.
Okay, yeah. Let us know in the comments whose Zing are you guys most excited to hear, and who are you the most nervous to hear? Keanu's is gonna be really, really fun. Like I was desperate that Keanu would get here. I have no idea what they're gonna single out with him.
I am very curious what they are going to end up actually saying about Ava now that things have been more brought to light. I wonder if, Zingbot's actually going to point out some of the things that she's been doing.
Yeah, and I think this is important because I know it's all easy to sit back and be like, oh, Zingbot's nothing. It's really not that important to the season.
But it is because he does always come up with things that other players either don't look at themselves.
Yes.
Or then start to think that maybe America thinks about them and it's true.
Yes, it is. Like he can really get in some of these people's heads.
Oh,
And I think that's going to be what's really interesting here. I mean, I think it's pretty clear from just what we've said here already. Like the three people we're most excited and or interested in are Keanu, Vince for obvious reasons,
Yes.
and then Ava. But, we'll see what this robot is cooking up.
Yeah.
But that is where we are with this edition of Big Brother 27 live feed spoilers. Let us know in the comments, how are you guys feeling about losing Captain Will at this point? We like Will. We're sad that he's gone, but
Yeah, Team 50.
Team 50, but also Team Mess. And I feel like we got the best messy possibility for the game moving forward. But yeah, be sure to hit that subscribe button and help us on this journey to 80,000, which is still thrilling and surreal. And if you
Wild.
guys do want to support us further, join our Patreon. That
Mhm.
link is in the description. Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
support. We will see you here next time.